Barth illustrated his utopian vision of the disappearance of the photographic substance with a peculiar comparison. Quote, "The photograph belongs to that class of laminated objects whose two leaves cannot be separated without destroying them both, the window pane and the landscape." End of quote. The old metaphor of the picture as a window to the world has been turned on its head. The picture Barth writes about is not manufactured by artifice. It shows itself of its own accord and appears like a landscape in the field of view demarcated by the window, without indirection, mediation, or the likelihood of diversion. So, strange idea of pure immediacy. You look at a photograph as you look through the window pane into a landscape. We see through a photograph as we see through a glass pane. A picture like the shot of the blind violinist who walked down a Hungarian village street decades ago, in this regarding, allows our gaze to fall upon a moment in the past, but it is itself intangible as the medium of such rendering visible. Kertész's broken plate tells a different story. We see the city with its facades, chimneys, and mansard roofs, but we also see that part of the field of view has broken out. Like a spider's web, a pattern of hairline cracks spreads across the picture. In this instance, we can see the photographic signifier at work, even without what Barth called the secondary actions of knowledge or of reflection. With a black hole at their center, the cracks occupy the picture of the city. Like the science of language, Georges Dédy-Ubermann writes, images in their own way, and this is the problem, are able to produce an effect along with its negation. And this is the figure I'm interested in, producing an effect along with its negation. The following remarks deal with this interplay of effect and negation of the image and its disruption by image noise. So my interest is less in what you might call an iconography of destruction. There are lots of photographs that quote destruction, for example. So here you see Walker Evans' torn movie poster, which apparently is an image about destruction or that reflects about destruction, but that is not destructed itself. So I'm not interested in this, or not so much in this iconography. Here again, Brett Willis, a broken window pane. So again, an image that plays with the status of the photographic image, or which makes us think that we look through the photograph at a black spot. But even though in both cases you have this black spot, the darkness is completely different, because here the picture is still at work, it is not haunted, whereas here the black hole really means that the picture itself is destructed. So I don't stress this point, but this would be something else. So this is quoted destruction, so to speak, or reflecting about destruction, but the image itself is perfectly okay. Here you really have the destruction of the material, and the black hole is a completely different black hole than this one, even though it looks exactly the same. Kertész's broken plate exemplifies a different form of reflexivity than Weston and Walker Evans. Even if the deep black of the circular fault resembles, indeed is virtually indistinguishable form, the black in Weston's picture, it means a very different sort of darkness. There is a hole in the photograph from which the image of the city has disappeared. A piece of the depiction is missing. A part of the photographic representation has been shattered with the glass. Unlike Evans and Weston, who merely quote the event of destruction or disruption, Kertész exhibits the real damage to the pictorial medium. Our gaze cannot get through, coming up against the opaque ground of photography.